Hi guys, it's me Sam, welcome back to another video. I've got a lesson for you today with one of my favourite rock and roll songs, classic piece of Canadian rock and roll, Takin Care of Business by the legendary Bachman Overdrive. It's one of my favourite songs to play live because it's quite a simple one. It's one of my favourite ones to start the night off with, so I can make sure levels are right and I can stretch out and play a lot of licks over it. And it's easy to remember the words. I've got quite a few little live clips that I'm going to put in this video that you can play the riffs along to. So I've got 5 stages of Taking Care of Business. So let's get into it. That's the main riff of the song. It's going throughout the verses, throughout the choruses, and it's just a takeoff of our classic, Chuck Berry, rocking the root and fifth, root and sixth. It's in a pretty good key for this. We're actually in the key of C. So C is quite far up the fretboard. Fret number 8 is where our C is on the low E string. And because we're so far up, I don't really mind doing that semi-stretchy thing for too long. Although I do have a little bit of a tip for you later on, because it can be a bit fatiguing to do that for an entire song. So let's just get into it here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to play this chord here. So I've got a C and I've got the fourth of that chord, which is an F. And it goes straight up to our power chord, which is root and fifth. And then I get the 6 on top of that. And then back to the 5th. So if you don't speak intervals, that's primarily what I like to speak in. If you don't speak that, I would encourage you to think about your major scale. And if you want to try, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Easy as counting to 7. But just in case you don't want to do that, I've got fret number 8 for both of those strings. And then I go to fret 10 on the A and I retain the 8 on the E. And then I go up to a fret 12. So that riff, I'm just going to move that into a few different keys. So it starts on the C. A whole tone down, we have got a B flat. Same riff, just a whole tone down. And then I take the same riff across a set of strings and back up a whole tone. So my first finger is on the F note, or fret number 8. And then for that 4th measure, we're back to C. So just one more time, I've got a C. And that's the main part of the song. Here's a little clip of my band doing it, and play along with it. And if it's a bit of a struggle, don't forget you can slow down YouTube videos. It's one of my favourite things about YouTube these days. You can slow it down in 0.5 increments of, 5% increments. So you can have half speed or whatever you want. So here's the guitar hook. I love this part, it's just the perfect part, it's catchy, it's got some cool double stop things, it's got some chords, just really well done. So hopefully you guys know this chord here. This is a D7. If you don't know D7, chances are you probably know D. I think of D7 as being like a D but in the mirror, fret 2 on the G string, 1 on the B, 2 on the E. I'm going to take that shape and I'm going to make it a C7 by putting my first finger way up here onto fret number 11. Okay, so that's our first chord. I'm strumming it like that. Good tip for you, my middle finger is actually muting the next door neighbour string, the D string. I'm just making that quiet, so my right hand has got an easier job. I'm also sitting my right hand on those low strings so I can really attack it. You know, you can dig in a little bit more there. So that's our first chord. We're going to do like a pentatonic-y type thing over that B flat. So if you think about B flat being at fret 6, if you do like a minor pentatonic, that gives you most of the notes you need for the riff, kind of. So we're going to do like a double stop, G string, B string, fret number 8, and then we're going to go fret number 6, same 2 string. I'm going to do that major third hammer. Classic blues move. You know, heard by Stevie Ray. Anyway, after that, I hit that root of the B flat, down a whole tone, back up, and then I go to the next string, the A string. I go fret number 6, and I hammer that to 8 for 2 of those. So we've got this so far, hopefully. That's a little hard to follow. Just go back, watch it a few times, you'll be fine. So after that, same chord shape. This time I'm over an F chord. So my first finger is on fret number 4. Same trick with the muting, all of that stuff. And then that B flat lick, I'm going to recycle that up a whole tone for the key of C. How easy is that? You've got the hook right there. So here's the hook. There you go, guys, that's the hook. So try playing that along. Here's another little clip of my trio doing it, so you can slow it down if you want to and play along. Here we go. Alright, so our third level of playing this song, I want to show you what I do for the chorus, because it can be a little bit fatiguing playing that riff where you're rocking between the 5 and the 6, you know. Especially when your guitar's down low a little bit, it can be kind of hard to do that for the whole song. So I kind of bail out of that during the choruses, just to give me a bit of a chance to recharge, you know, get the lactic acid out of there. So I'm just doing a C power chord. So I've got my root, my 5th, and my root. I like to play my thumb for this, but you don't necessarily have to. Play it like that. Many ways to skin that cat. I don't endorse skinning cats. We're going to hit sort of like 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and whole tone down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So both of those are just power chords. After that, I'm going to play one of my favourite chord shapes. It's actually a 7 chord. It's an F7. If you put your ring finger 8 on the A string, middle 7 on the D string, pinky 8 on the G, first 6 on the B, you get an F7 chord. It just adds a little bit of flavour. So I'd go C power chord, B flat, F7, back to the C. Alright, so for all of these stages, your bass player and drummer have just been doing the same thing, really. You know, just that C, going down to the B flat, going to the F and back to the C. Just a straight rock groove, and of course if you've got a good drummer, there's plenty of places to stick some fills and be a little more busy. Alright, so try that chorus with me and my band now, and again, you can slow it down if you need to. Alright, so stage 4 is the first time you've got to teach your bass player a different riff. What we're going to do here, this is sort of the breakdown of the song. All power chords. I'm starting on the C. 2 strums there. I move a set of strings down to the 4. I strum that, and then down a whole tone from the 4 to the flat 3, and then across the strings to the flat 7. So if you don't talk in intervals, what we're doing is we're playing C, and that goes to the F there, and then we go down to an E flat, to a B flat, and that's that riff. Alright, so here's another clip that you can jam along with. Okay then, so concluding, the most fun stage is taking a long solo, and you know, truth be told, I've been singing lately because I like taking long solos. If you're the band leader, if you're singing the song, you get to decide how long your solo is, and that, for me, is a great place to be. So if you're like me and you like soloing over blues rock stuff, chances are you probably know about the pentatonic scale. Fret number 8 is where our C lives, and here is, the cliched as it may be, the incredible pentatonic scale. Right? And all of those notes work great over all of the chords we're playing over, so it's a get out of jail free card. If it hits the fan, you can always come back to the old pentatonic scale. It's fun to play some of our favourite Angus Young licks. You know, Clapton-y stuff. It's just all good, you know. And it's fun to play fast stuff with the pentatonic scale. So what I like doing is working on my alternate picking and just ripping through all 5 of those positions. So graduating from that, you can start thinking about the blues scale. And what the blues scale is, it's the pentatonic scale with the additional flat 5. So on that A string, you're going to connect those 2 good notes with a dubious flat 5, which you might not want to sit on for too long. It's a note of tension. But you know, films that we like, if there's no tension in a film, it's a bad film. You need tension. Tension makes the good notes better, right? So I definitely encourage you to experiment with the blues scale and just being chromatic in general. What does chromatic mean? It's when you play notes which are next door to each other, and you can really get away with murder if you're ballsy. Let's see, I'm just going to sort of... You see what I mean? As long as you do it with some authority, you can really get away with a lot of stuff using that scale. So definitely encourage you to check out the blues scale. The other scale that I think is worth mentioning here is the Dorian mode. And the Dorian mode has a pentatonic inside of it, so if you know that first position of the pentatonic scale, you are 5/7 to a Dorian scale, my friend. So let's see, what we're going to do is we're going to add the 2 and the 6. So you might remember from earlier on, that 6 is in the main riff. It's a really important note when you're playing bluesy stuff. So where does that 6 live for us? What I tend to do is, you know, if I'm in that first position, I'm playing it on the D string, fret number 7. And I'm also playing it on the B string, fret number 10. So that's the 6. we've also got the 2 as well. So the 2, anytime you play a C, a whole tone above the C is the 2, which in this case is a D. I'm getting a little bit numbery, but again, you know, if it's not something that you do, just remember it all comes down to the major scale. If you could play a C major scale and you can count to 7, and that's 8 or 1 on the end again, right? Same as where we started. It's a really good way to sort of get into that, and it will really help you talking to your fellow musician as well. So we've got the 2 and we've got the 6. Let me show you that just sort of in a scale shape. I'll give you a little scale shape up here. So I'm going to put a few clips of me, you know, soloing just at the end of this video here with various guitars at various different gigs, because, you know, this song it's just a treasure. It's a treasure. You know, it doesn't really require much rehearsal. You can just hit the ground running with this song, and it's a great little rock and roll tune to learn. So I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Please click the like, subscribe. If you feel like supporting me, I've got 3 records that you can stream and you can buy on my website down here, and any support that you're willing to give me is incredibly appreciated. So thanks so much, guys. I hope to see you in another video real soon. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you've got any requests, leave them down there too. So I'll leave you with some noodling over Taking Care of Business. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.